15 minutes into it, let's get back into the download that I received about currency and our bodies and our energies. Okay, so this is what was coming in really strong in my grand rising meditation, as drinking a cup of coffee, hanging out with my cat Chester, my dog Tanner. And my sleep state was kind of wacky last night, but I think it's because of all the energy with the Aries, just wants to go, go, go. Mars is very active right now. And it's also sextiling Pluto. So there's a lot of power, right? Our own current systems coming through. So this is sort of the revelation. I'm going to go ahead and say this again. And whoever's meant to receive this, please receive it in the manner that it was given, with love and a sense of empowerment to get your power back to you with a new awareness, or just the awareness that I have. It may not be new to you, but it was new to me in how when we share our current. So this is where I was going into the image, and what came to me was time is money. And I said, okay. And I've been doing more content here on social media. So I've been having to look at my analytics behind the scene. And it's kind of curious. They'll show you like who's watching your videos and the age group and where it's going. But where I found interesting is it also talks about the amount of time somebody spends on watching your videos. And I was like, what's this whole thing about time? I mean, they're very precise, like down to the hours and the minutes of how many viewers are spending their most valuable current, their time, watching your videos. And so what these social media platforms are doing is they're taking that time, right, which is your currency, and they're giving you a percentage back to you of actually how much of your content, how much time was spent watching your content, right? And I thought, time is money. Oh, they already knew this. They know that our most valuable resource is our time. And so the time we spend watching other creators or watching whatever we're watching, that's our focus. That's what we're energizing with our energetic field, because we are bioelectric magnetic beings, right? And so this is deep, man. This is like, it started making sense. So what these social media platforms are doing, not for right or wrong, good or bad, they just figured it out, is that's why they want your time. They want content creators on their platform, because what? People are spending their most valuable current, which is their time, on watching you. And then they turn around, they look at the analytics, and they said, okay, we're going to give a percentage back of the current that was spent time through the collective back to the creator, right? So this is that law of reciprocity. But if you don't understand, this is where the sovereignty comes in, because it's like, wow, okay, so now this is, people want to start getting onto platforms that pay them more, right? Give them more of their currency back to them, because that's what they're investing in. They're investing their time and current to create, and then the others are investing time and current to consume. And so what was coming through really strong is like, for those of us who are ready to receive more, it's Venus and Aries, based on our own creativity, based on our own, creative life force energy, then it's time for us to be inspired, right? To live an inspired life and to share that inspiration, Neptune. So this is why I'm saying like, more of the authentic creators are getting more of their currency back to themselves, because they're giving more of their current to their community. And now you're able to receive that current back in the form of financial exchange, right? And this finance is changing. It's going from, dollars to digital, which is very interesting. There's still gold and silver and stuff. But I mean, I just find it interesting that we literally are the current. We are the electrical grid that feeds these mechanisms. And so it's just such a responsibility. How do you spend your currency? How do you spend your current? How do you spend your attention? Because that's what you're energizing. And so this is such a pivotal time for us to just be really aware, especially if we're putting our content out there, what you're sending out, what people are consuming. There's going to be this law of reciprocity. Hopefully it's more balanced. And if you think about how energy works, you look at the world stage and how unbalanced it's been, because why does 1% of our population in these so-called elites, I don't even want to call them that anymore, degenerates, why do these so-called degenerates hold most of our current? The top 1% holds the majority of humanity's current. Why? Because it's a parasite. Think about how parasites work. They just take and take and take. They don't give back, right? And then they actually create chemical warfare in the host's body and make them think certain ways to actually benefit the parasite. So this is what we're all coming off of right now in my experience, my expression, what was being downloaded today through the sun, through Venus, through Neptune, through Saturn, saying, look, your time, because in this realm, we're eternal beings, really. But in this realm, our time is our most valuable asset. So how you spend your time, once it's spent, it's gone forever, right? You can always get money back. You can always get things back, but you can't get your time. So this is the responsibility, Saturn coming in saying, be responsible with how you spend your time, who you're giving your focus to, where you're putting your focus, because that's literally current. You're energizing, you're sending your battery like a charger to that egregor, whatever it is, for better or worse, right or wrong. And so Aries is saying, hey, why not pour back into yourself? Pour back into your creations. Give your time and focus to what? Your body, your health. This is Virgo, South Node. To your own sense of well-being, to your nervous system, because you've been so used and programmed and guilted through the religious systems to outsource and send our time to others in form of tithing and money and our resources and everything. So now this is that Neptune, Saturn. What I'm seeing is, because it's in Aries, first house, the I am presence, you are worthy to receive the current in the law of reciprocity. It's not just about giving your energy, your time, your focus to these parasitic energies anymore. It's about learning to receive yourself and receive the current and be able to hold it, right? Because I think of too, like a womb space. It's one thing to generate current or currency, but it's another thing to be able to hold it inside of you, like a bank account, right? And I was thinking like energy leaks. And I think about the correspondence too with Virgo, like a lot of us have leaky gut or a leaky biome or just a disharmonious biome. Well, that's where we hold that's our power center. Literally, our solar plexus is connected to the sun, which is our current, right? It's how we get charged and energized. And so if we've had through our food systems been systemically poisoned, or at least unknowingly or knowingly, I don't know. I think it's knowingly, but that's just me. It's just entertainment purposes only. But I feel like our gut biome has been attacked and has all these holes and leaks in it, and we can't even hold our own current, right? That's why a lot of us feel impoverished or broke, or like, God, I do so much work and I work so hard, but I can't. Why don't I ever have money? Well, because we've had a parasitic entity that's been taking our attention, our time, our focus to feed their agendas. You see? It's such an insidious, brilliant game. These guys, really, those who understand how this shit works, and I'm just now getting a hold of it, it's just like, whoa, that's what this awakening is. It's like this. It's like, it seems like every day, especially since this ingress with Aries and with Saturn, Neptune, and now Venus. It's like the focus is money. It's like, look, you got to learn how to hold your own current and be very responsible, Saturn, who you give your time and attention and focus to. Are they nourishing you, or are they just taking? And are they causing more disruption and balance? And, it's almost like knowing where your food comes from, right? Sourcing responsibly. Go to your farmers markets and get fresh organic food, right? Go to your content creators who have fresh organic content that's just not recycling or repeating something they've heard, that they actually have embodied wisdom. This is why the ancestors are coming in, specifically like Jordan Maxwell, and now Master Yao has been coming into my field. Because I've been asking for it. I've been asking my ancestors, look, I need and want and desire. This is also Aries and Pluto. True wisdom, true ancestral wisdom that is made of truth, that will benefit humanity, that will benefit my own being, that will nurture, that will support my creations in this realm. I need help from the ancestors. You guys know how to remember this. There's been such an inversion in this realm. Again, we're looking at even the word, if you're looking at the world stage, there's lots of wars, right? Wars that are being started. Well, you invert the W to the M and it's Mars, which is the ruler of Aries. That's all it is. It's an inverted reality. And they've been using Mars for war. And really what Mars's function is protection. So they've taken our warriors and they've made them assassins, right? Because of the programming, because of this MK Ultra bullshit, and they understand frequency and vibration and sound. I mean, this shit's deep. And if you guys are here in a vibrational match, Dahlia, thank you so much for connecting and telling me I wasn't even being heard. Again, the retrograde, trying to have grace with this. Speaking of vibration, if you guys are here, I just got a really cool tuning fork from Eileen McCusick. She's been a sound bowl, a tuning fork healer for like 30 years, and she actually created her own tuning fork. And I like to support inventors and creators that I feel like are helping humanity. So I'm going to see if I can do a tune up. I've got this really cool microphone, and I'm just going to do a quick ping, because I'm just being called to right now, because, you know, I understand the power of cymatics. And so maybe the intention here, oh no, thank you. Thank you for being here and being a vibrational match. I set it up for the intention to whoever this is supposed to empower and inspire so they can go out and ignite the field with their own powerful current. Then that's how we fix this thing. That's how we, I don't want to say fix it. That's how we harmonize this frequency that's been very debased, right? We got to show up our authentic selves and just, you know, share our practices, what we've been doing. Maybe we were not safe or felt scared to do it. And now I understand why, because it's fucking inverted reality. It's like we couldn't even be ourselves because literally we were in danger, right? These entities come in through these insidious ways. And now that I know it though, this Aries is like, don't be scared, just like game on. No, now you know your opponent. Like I was getting stabbed in the back because I didn't know I didn't even have a fucking enemy. You know, you know, humanity has an enemy right now, and it's those people that are in power that have been commandeered by this, whatever this entity parasite is, whatever you want to call it, reptilian. You know, the most debased aspect of humanity is what's been parasiting the 1%. That's why why do we have billionaires? We don't need billionaires. Billionaires is an antiquated thing. It doesn't make sense for that 1% to hold that much of our humanity's current and power. Give the power back. Actually, not even give. I'm taking my power back. Let's take our power back. I'm not asking for permission. I'm not even asking for forgiveness anymore. I used to use the word, I'd rather ask for permission than, or I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. I'm not asking for either. What I'm doing now is just forgiving myself for knowing I didn't know what I didn't know. And now that I know better, now that I'm tuning into myself and my own gnosis and my ancestors who live in my own DNA and tuning them up, which is what I'm about to do for you guys, then that's just going to activate our own gnosis and our own remembering. I'm not here to teach anything. I'm not here to no. We're transcending. There's no more gurus. I don't even think there's any more teachers. I think we all hold the codes within us. It's just here. We're just here to inspire one another and to share one another our own energy. And then that's going to activate you, right? As I'm just sharing my current to you, whoosh, zapping it out, you know, and just kind of free fall. Don't judge what comes out. Just let it flow nice and through my authentic self without the judgment, without the guilt, without the, you know, if I'm going to say it's going to offend somebody. No, I'm speaking from my heart and my truth. And so that's all we're called to do right now, and do it in a way that I can also, not only are you sending your current out there, right, your energy, your currency, but be able to hold your own current when people give back to you. I didn't know how to receive for many, many years. And you guys can probably relate. No conscious coherence information. Yes. You know, maybe you guys can relate. I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I was in hospitality for many years, and I was good at it because I just wanted to please. I just wanted to make everybody happy and healthy. And as bartenders, I wanted to get everybody just a little bit alchemized. They can feel better about themselves, whether they're celebrating a wedding or mourning a funeral or having dinner with friends, right? The alcohol vibration was always a thing. And I always, you know, back then I was a Reiki master, so I always send Reiki into the alcohol because I understood the power of alchemy, especially when you're dealing with alcohol, that particular spirit of alcohol is to be respected. But yeah, so I was able to give and give and give, but I didn't know how to receive. And I didn't know how, once I was received, like say large sums of currency or give, I didn't know how to hold it. I just had to give it out right away, right? I didn't know how to hold it because I had all these problems with my gut. And it's something as simple as just having leaky gut that you can, if you can focus on your gut biome, again, South Node Virgo, we're here to learn Pisces. There's a spiritual component to what happens in our body. And so we're just now being privy to that with our own experience and just, again, connecting to our ancestors that live within us and start taking the measures and the actions and the habits, Virgo, to repair these things, right? You realize the math of consciousness gives a natural currency for naturally balanced every civil. Yes. And I think that's what we're starting to remember is our natural state, right? This chasing the dollar 40 hours a week bullshit. I haven't been on that system for 7 years. I refused. I actually made it. I told my divine creator, I said, I'm not going to be in this reality. So I'm not playing this game anymore. If I have to die off and do it and go to the next realm, so be it. I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm not doing it. So I was willing to be homeless and penniless. I didn't care. I'm like, my son is grown. He's doing his thing. But at some point, you have to make a stand for the reality that you're willing to accept. And I was not willing to accept that grind, 40-hour a week, prostituting myself for money. Fuck that, dude. Excuse my language. But no, there was something innate in me. And I've got a lot of Scorpio too. Scorpio, Moon, Mercury, 12th house, Ridge. It's like, nah, fuck this. I'll just die because I don't believe in death anyway. Not the way we've been taught or programmed through this religious system. I'm like, I'll just transform and become a butterfly and go off to the next realm because I ain't doing it. But somehow once I made that agreement, things always just, me too, it's been nearly 5 years. Yes, Dahlia, I'm telling you what, and haven't you been supported? It's like things come out of the blue once you make that agreement. Excuse me. I almost feel like the universe is like, okay, girl, I got you. You don't want to do this, then create the reality you want. And so I've been able to sort of navigate nomadically through this realm for 7 years. This is when Uranus ingressed into Taurus, which it activated my 6th house, which is work and service to others. So I couldn't do what I was doing. I literally could not be in that environment. I was getting sick. Again, I was bartending and serving. And at the same time, I was learning astrology and also on my metaphysical journey. So it's been this sort of duality paradox for me. Moving from one realm to another, like this spiral, right? This going to my shadow self and then going to my light and learning some tools and then going back and applying it every time I went to the bar. And, like I said, I was a Reiki master and, I would just hold the intention every time I held a drink to my hand. I just programmed my hands to hold those Reiki codes for everybody that was receiving the alcoholic beverages for their most harmonious experience, whatever they were doing, the alchemy that they were performing on themselves. That's all we can do, really, is just set an intention for your reality and your creativity and then do it authentically the best as you can. But a lot of us weren't safe to be our authentic selves because literally I think of like the witch wound. Think of like these healers and people, not just women, but men too, were killed at the stake because they were sharing their authentic current and their power to heal, right? It's like the Jesus character, whoever he was. I think he was just a man, but he was epitomized and whatever. I think history changed his whole function, but he was just showing like, hey, you have these powers within you. So they call it the Christ consciousness, right? It's like, just have the consciousness to know that we are more powerful than we have ever been given credit, that we've ever been told. We are basically superhuman because we are these electrical beings. We can tap into states of consciousness and awareness that these entities that live in the reptilian realms of consciousness can't have access to because they live in another world, right? So, okay. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and tune you guys up because Dahlia, you're still here in it to win it. Thank you so much for hanging out and being part of this transmission because, I'm grateful for AI and that I have the language now because I had these terabytes of information and thought forms and like awarenesses, but I never knew how to vocalize it or give it a place to go. So the technology definitely does have its benefits, and being able to capture it like this and to record it and then do it in sound bites and give it to people in increments, what people can receive when they're meant to. Again, it's all about intention. And so I'm going to take this tuning fork. I believe it's 963 is the Hertz frequency. So what she did is Eileen McCusick is the creator. Because she's been working with tuning forks for 30 years. And she said that humans only need a certain number of frequencies to stabilize and harmonize their fields. And so this was a tool that I've been using regularly as well as my grounding mat. So I've got my feet on my grounding mat as I'm doing this transmission so I can be grounded, because I understand now that I'm an electrical being and electricity needs a grounding wire. It needs the earth, it needs a tree, it needs to anchor it in. Otherwise, you're all over the frickin' place. And then you wonder why we have nervous system disorders and autoimmune diseases. And there's a really great documentary. It's called The Grounding Documentary on YouTube. You guys need to check it out. It's a lot of science that supports why we ground, and it's not just woo-woo. There's actually a science to it. I'm sitting on a hardwood floor. Yes. And you know what? I call it the layering effect. I will get to that tuning fork, I promise, because that's calling to me. I'm seeing it. But I want to share this to you because I think it's time for us to share our resources. And those of us who I call it like SSB, secret spiritual behaviors. And so before I do anything, I always put my crystals around me. So I've got this really beautiful piece of carnelian, which helps with creativity and grounding. It's red, right? So crystals are color coded to tell you what chakra point. So I know this is root. It's kind of red orange. So it's right in between my root and my sacral. I also have labradorite, which keeps me balanced, right? The higher realms. This is also very good for psychic awareness and connecting to like the Indra's net, the cosmic webbing that we're all connected to. It gives it a clear, like I think a radio signal or an antenna. So it keeps it clear. I've got the grounding mat. Oh, I also used vetiver oil. For vetiver is actually like, it smells like grass, which is outside. And I put that on my temples because since I've been content creating, I've noticed I've gotten a little more ADHD-ish. And that's because of all the technology and just the terabytes of information coming in. So the oils help me ground it in and to stay focused on my thoughts, especially Pisces is retrograde right now. I'm all over the place, like swimming in the ocean, but this helps me put it in a coherent way. Again, the technology, Aquarius and Pluto, helps me ground it in a powerful way through the electronics, through technology. So speaking of technology, I'm going to go ahead and lean in here. And for those that are here, Adalia, especially you, because you're here for a reason. You actually have my stepmom's name, which I know that's a connection point too, because I love her very much. And we're all connected, right? This whole separation illusion's dissolving before our eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and tune you up and hopefully let me know, Adalia, since you're also helping me with the hearing because you let me know I couldn't be heard. Let me know what you hear. And if you're receiving in the manner which is given, hopefully the technology can send this to you. The intention is to harmonize your field, to imagine, since we're mostly water, that we're creating new cymatic patterns in all of your energy bodies, right? Just doing like a full sweep within your energy bodies to harmonize, to create homeostasis, coherence, right? These are the words I like to use. I don't like the high vibe anymore or low vibe because as a musician, I'm not a musician, but I know I love music, and you need the high notes and the low notes. And so the lowest note is actually the Earth's hertz, 7.83. So I don't want to disrespect the low vibes because the low vibes is Mama Gaia, right? So again, this is also deep to do with the rejection of the divine feminine. Even in our language, if we think we're consciously speaking, we're still rejecting the mother if we're not honoring the low vibes, which is Mother Earth. So it's about that balance of high vibe and low vibe, right? It's that in-between point. So that's where I want to take you to today. That's the intention of pinging this. So just maybe if you want to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in, hold for the count of 4. Let it out for the count of 6. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale for the count of 4. Let it out for the count of 6. Let's do that 1 more time together. Inhale for 4. And let it out for 6. And I'm going to use this tuning fork. Wow, that was instant. I'm going to use this tuning fork to help regulate our nervous system, okay? This is for you, Adalia. Okay. Let me know if you can hear this, okay? Just allow yourself to receive. And close your eyes, breathe it in. Setting up a new cymatical pattern of coherence, unconditional love, forgiveness, power. Reclaiming our ability to hold our current, to generate, to circulate in a balanced and loving and harmonious way. Setting yourself up for that experience. If you chose, so choose. It's free will. And one more time, I love doing things in 3s. Mm. Thank you, Adalia, and everyone here for receiving. Also understand that your own voice is your own tuning fork. So speak gently to yourself, speak lovingly. Think of Dr. Emoto and the power of words, especially in cymatics and water and language. Even before you imbibe with a beverage, water, whatever, just maybe put it to your forehead, say thank you, om to it, right? Watch the water move into these beautiful cymatic patterns that just the cells recognize as harmonious homeostasis, bringing it back to coherence and to love and to self-regulation. It's a deep process. Um, and it's a journey. It's a journey with this stuff. So, wow, even how I'm talking is more calmed down. And see, it just helps. Like I was like Speedy Gonzalez a moment ago, and now I'm. So this is a good time to get off here. But Adalia, thank you so much, and I'm here every So I'm going to be anchoring in this type of metaphysical conversation on Wednesdays. I'm going to be focusing mostly on astrology because that's my love language. And then on Friday night, since I don't go to bars anymore and I'm a former bartender, I'm going to be doing what are called Metaphysical Fridays at 7 p.m. just for an hour. It's just an exploration, talking about more of these things, talking about, metaphysical shares beyond the physical, beyond what we've been taught of how this operating system works, how our system works. Because I feel like all of us have a lot to share. And even if we just drop some wisdom hints here and there, time zone is Eastern Standard. I'm on the East Coast here of the United States. So EDT, 7 p.m. EDT. And then I'll pop on here when I'm so inspired. Like I said, I was inspired this grand rising. When I heard, my guides, my ancestors were like, time is money. I'm like, okay, get me into that. Because after I had seen, again, the analytics through TikTok, I'm like, why are they regulating our time? Why is it so precise how much time people spend watching our videos? And then that's when I got the upload about the current and how our current attention is money and how it's translated and then given a percentage back to us through these social media platforms. It's just like a whole new awakening. And so, yeah, now it's like, all right, game on. So now it's like purposeful play. Every time I come on here, it's got to be on purpose. And it's got to be when I'm inspired and when I can generate the field for you guys, when I'm feeling authentic and feeling safe in my body and my nervous system to show up. And it's been a process for sure. So, and Adalia, thank you so much. I hope to see you again. And yeah, come with some questions and some things. I feel like you're in deep process right now. And so if there's any way that I can connect with you guys, again, check out the link in my bio. I've got some free offerings there. I'm also working on an app. It's called Astrolingo if you want to learn astrology yourself. Very simple, again, learning the language, learning the symbols, and then you can integrate it and start using it for your own roadmap, right? Your own blueprint. That's what our birth chart, natal birth chart is, really. It's almost like the diagram of the seed that was born into us, like an acorn. You don't have to tell an acorn what to do. It just becomes, right? It's already got the codes within it, but it's got to be supported. It's got to be nourished. It's got to be that acorn has to be watered and put into thriving soil, right? And so that's kind of how I see the birth chart and the gnosis of it and why it's so important. We already have these codes within us. We just got to support the environment around it so that our natural seed can grow. And that's what the intention for this particular channel is to hold a very sacred, nourishing container for anybody that comes in that wants to share their wisdom and their light and their love and their experience. And so I've got Cancer, Saturn, 7th house. I nurture all my relationships. I like to do that. So I hope you feel nurtured. I hope you receive. And I'll be seeing you on the next live. And again, if you liked any of this content and you want to share it, send it to your friends, family, connect to it, do all the things, because it really does help support the channel grow and this type of content, this type of experience to grow. And that's the intention for this. All right. Thank you, Adalia. And thank you, everybody who's here on the live with me. So much love, and we'll see you on the next transmission.